I have Tim Ballard news. Where do I even start? I don't have words. Tim Ballard has just come out with a vengeance against the Mormon church. He has gone full balls to the wall, calling them part of satanic sex child rituals. The guy behind The Sound of Freedom, the anti-trafficking guy, credibly accused by multiple women of rape and sexual assault and then excommunicated by the Mormon church. He is now claiming that the Mormon church spent $10 million to destroy him.
The mass trafficking going on at the southern border. I spent 10 years as an undercover operator for Homeland Security on that border. So we were going to bust it open, child ritual abuse, which most of it's happening in Utah, where I live right now. He said $10 million has just been invested, has been sent to destroy you. I said, what's it going to look like? They said a bag of bricks, and that's all they would say. 3 weeks later, it begins from the Mormon church. Okay? Unbelievable. This is the church that I've given my life to. And that people that call themselves Christians and represent Jesus Christ could possibly involve themselves in such pharisaical activity.
He's ranting on various podcasts like I have never seen him rant before. He's comparing himself to Trump being the anointed one, being able to handle anything. Jesus is on his side. He's comparing himself to General Flynn and saying that the church has been infiltrated by satanic files and that now Jesus is going to lead a cleansing revival. And then he also says that when he was being excommunicated, that a painting of Jesus was hanging on the wall. And as soon as they said, you're fired, the painting of Jesus fell on the ground as if Jesus was saying like, well, I'm out of here too, because you guys are all satanic anyway. I'm leaving with Tim. Like he tells stories like that's like divine confirmation that heaven is on his side.
They destroyed my life and they knew they intended to. I lost everything. I lost my job. I had a Simon & Schuster book deal. Lost that, lost Sound of Freedom too. No one, I mean, I was on the outs with everybody because if the Mormon church would denounce you, it must be true. Well, it's the ultimate backfire because ironically, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints didn't count on Jesus. I wonder often if they prayed before or during this whole thing and said, Jesus, please help us to outsmart you and lie better so that we can not let you uncover the worst thing happening on the planet. But they excommunicated me, which basically is them saying, you don't go to heaven. But the church, you'll see the allegations about satanic ritual abuse that's been going on in Utah for probably decades. They knew I was looking into it because I told them. I was naively thinking they would want me to clean out satanic ritual abuse of children that's connected to people in the church. But no, we must be Pharisees. First and foremost, we whitewash the tomb.
I think since Tim finally admits after years of denial that he's been excommunicated from the church, okay, he didn't want to admit that for a long time, but now he is admitting that publicly. I think he wanted to get rebaptized, but you have to wait a year to have that happen. He was not able to get rebaptized, and because he committed such a horrible sin of using Elder Ballard, who is not related to Tim Ballard, who is an apostle of the church, using his good name to convince women in his child operations that they need to engage in married couple activities, and that the church apostle approved of that tactic, or so it is alleged. That's the story of his excommunication, right? That the church booted him for these immoral actions and profiting off of the apostle's good name. So what I think is happening is maybe Tim is losing his legal battles and he's in a ton of debt and his wife and kids are still members of the LDS church, but the church won't allow him to be rebaptized. So maybe he's just cutting ties, making his bed where he can. I have a theory that maybe the church has too much dirt on him and something will be coming out shortly. So Tim is going into full attack mode now on the Mormon church, accusing them of all the most heinous things you can accuse a person of, satanic sex abuse of children, to get this narrative out there, to spin it in his favor before something bigger hits the headlines. So he's aligning himself with these MAGA Christians to raise money and support by acting like he's a convert to Jesus, and believing that he's anointed by God, just like Trump. Like, how could somebody go through so much and still be so resilient? That means that you're the anointed one. You know, you're fighting against the forces of evil. In this podcast, Tim Ballard literally says, I pray every night, God, make me more like Trump, make me more like Trump. What? I don't think that's the problem, Tim. So These new podcasts, these new rants by Tim Ballard are insane. And I haven't even gotten to how I think he's found a new financial backer in the state of Israel right now, because something has changed in his content supply. Let me tell you that. If you haven't already been subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'm going to put out a full episode next week with my co-host Ryan Fisher, and we're going to give you all of the Tim Ballard updates.